Barry Cohen, August 3, 1939, September 22, 2018, was an American criminal, personal injury, civil and quiet attorney in Florida's Tampa Bay area. Cohen was hired by the Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR, to represent the family of Ibrahim Tadashev, an unarmed Chechen shot to death while being questioned by the FBI in relation to the Boston Marathon bombing. He was known for his aggressive legal tactics. He died of leukemia in 2018. Legal methods. Cohen was quoted as saying that defenders have to try to balance an inherent media advantage enjoyed by prosecutors. His history of winning cases and the large legal fees he commanded put Cohen in the position of being able to choose the cases he wants to handle, including accepting clients that cannot afford his fees. Notable cases: William A. Latore, a Clearwater, Florida, chiropractor at the wheel of his 35-foot, 11 meters cigarette boat on Memorial Day weekend in 1989, collided with a 17-foot, 5 meters boat full of teenagers. 4 teenagers were killed and several more injured. Latore was charged with 4 counts of vessel homicide. Cohen painted the picture in the media as an unavoidable tragic event for everyone concerned. He portrayed Latore's arrest as politically motivated, and managed press conferences with Latore's tearful wife. Latore was eventually acquitted of all 4 deaths. In 1992, former Chief Judge Dennis Alvarez of Hillsborough County hired Cohen to represent him in an FBI inquiry into his handling of a legal dispute over the disposition of former Tampa Bay Buccaneers owner Hugh Culverhouse's multi-million-dollar estate. In 1994, Cohen represented Sheriff Everett Rice in the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office when it was threatened with a lawsuit by former U.S. Attorney Robert Merkel for damages stemming from a false arrest charge after Merkel was acquitted of battery in a traffic confrontation. The Pinellas County Commission voted to hire Cohen as a special counsel at Rice's request. In 2005, Barry Cohen represented Pinellas County Judge George Greer when Greer was threatened with impeachment for his rulings in the Terry Schiavo case. Jennifer Porter hired Cohen before she announced she was the driver of the Toyota Echo involved in a hit-and-run accident that killed 2 children and put 2 in the hospital in March 2004. When she drove away after the collision with the 4 siblings, she retained Cohen before she stepped forward in a press conference along with press releases. She was charged with leaving the scene of an accident. She eventually pleaded guilty to a felony, but did not receive a prison sentence. Her sentence was reduced to 2 years house arrest through a judge's ruling engineered by Cohen. After she had completed all but 6 months of her sentence, Porter requested that her teaching certificate be restored. Cohen said her excellent character references plus the expert testimony provided through Cohen's efforts, explaining how she suffered psychological trauma, testimony that convinced the judge to give her house arrest, should also persuade the state panel to let Porter maintain her teaching certification. In September 2007, Cohen was hired to represent Nick Bali, son of professional wrestler Hulk Hogan. Bali, age 17, was driving a yellow Toyota Supra at high speed when he lost control, according to police. His passenger was severely injured. A lawyer can drop a client, just as a client can drop an attorney, Cohen is reported to have said, making a general statement when announcing his withdrawal from the case. Eisenberg case. In 1997, Stephen and Marlene Eisenberg hired Cohen after their 5-month-old baby, Sabrina Eisenberg, disappeared from her crib in the Eisenberg home, near Valrico, Florida. Baby Sabrina was never found and the reason for her disappearance remains a mystery. From the beginning the parents were the only suspects the prosecution investigators pursued. Cohen, as the Eisenbergs' attorney, appeared with the couple on Larry King Live in 2001 along with several other guests to discuss the still unsolved case. Cohen said the police have a right to investigate the parents of a missing child, but it was law enforcement's continued and relentless focus solely on the parents to the exclusion of other possibilities and leads that was problematic and abusive in this case. For example, Prosecution investigators received an illegally obtained warrant to record over 255 private conversations in the Eisenberg home. The tapes were inaudible for the most part and none provided any evidence to prosecute the Eisenbergs. The tapes were transcribed as best they could be into transcripts for the judge and for presentation to a grand jury. Hyde Amendment fees. Eventually in 2007, the charges against the Eisenbergs were dropped for lack of evidence. In U.S. v. Eisenberg, Cohen sued the federal government for malicious prosecution on behalf of the Eisenbergs for reimbursement of legal fees under the Hyde Amendment, a federal statute enacted in 1997 to pay the legal fees of defendants who were victims of prosecutorial abuse. On February 1, 2003, the Eisenbergs were awarded $2.9 million to pay the legal fees for the then 5-year-old case, the largest award in the 10 years since the Hyde Amendment was enacted. In fact, very rarely is suing for reimbursement of legal fees under the Hyde Amendment successful. As of 2007, the award remains the largest to date. Although Cohen did not receive the $7 million requested in the suit, the amount awarded was far more than the $250,000 the prosecution was originally willing to pay. Judge Mary Day of the Middle District of Florida reviewed the case and explained why he ordered the federal government to pay the $2.9 million in legal fees and expenses under the Hyde Amendment. The judge called the prosecution's case vexatious, frivolous, or in bad faith. The judge's decision is highly critical of the prosecutor's tactics. The judge ordered the government to release to the public the grand jury transcripts as the public is entitled to know about the misdirected and overzealous prosecutorial exertions in this case. The controversy surrounding the Eisenberg case has been covered on numerous media outlets, including the CBS program 48 Hours as well as The Oprah Winfrey Show, Dateline NBC, Good Morning America, and The Today Show. Community activism. On May 15, 2008, Cohen underwrote a special screening of The Great Debaters for 250 underprivileged Tampa children, along with special guest Doug Williams, the first African-American quarterback to win the Super Bowl, and actress Jurnee Smollett, who won the 2008 NAACP Image Award for her performance as the female lead in the film. See also list of people who disappeared mysteriously. References. External links. Tampa lawyer argues for launching Urban Debate League hit and run. Links to Jennifer Porter articles. Merkel for the defense. The law firm of Cohen, Jason and Foster, PA.